Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Ahlan wa sahlan wa marhaban bikum, and welcome to Tuesday Evening Talk with your host. My name is Lukman Sking. Jazakallah khair for joining us this evening. And of course, inshallah, we have quite a busy program ahead. I'm going to be with you, inshallah, between now and 9 p.m. And on the engineering is brother Sadiq. We call him Joe Sadiq. And of course, alhamdulillah, he's making sure all the buttons that are supposed to work so, correctly, and make sure that we are on air. Of course, inshallah, Aziz, on the program today, we look at quite a number of stories, and we'll be following, obviously, the Marikana anniversary. We're going to be in conversation with Andries Nkome. He is an attorney for the Marikana mine workers, has been for close to a decade or so, if not a full 10 years. And of course, we'll be speaking to him upon the 10th anniversary of the Marikana massacre. So do stay tuned for that. We'll be speaking to him at about 7:15 this evening. And of course, inshallah, let's try to find out exactly what is going on with the compensation for the victims of the Marikana massacre. And of course, finding out how much has been paid, what percentage is outstanding, and should we believe government when they say that by the end of August, all outstanding Marikana compensation would be paid. So I'm looking forward to that discussion. I certainly hope you'll join us at 7:15, inshallah. And at 7:30, Women's Month, Social Justice and the Role of Young Women. We speak to Sarah Farista. She's a young activist and, of course, intersectional social justice and climate justice activist. And we want to talk to her about how the growing number of young ladies have joined activism or are, very active in the field of climate change activism. Of course, we think about Greta Thunberg and a number of others from Uganda and other countries that are now being given platforms on the world stage. So we catch up with 18-year-old Sarah Farista, and she'll talk to us about how or why activism is important for Generation Z and the younger millennials. So stay tuned for that, inshallah. Of course, it's our segment at 10 minutes to 8 p.m. And inshallah, we'll be speaking to Muhammad Salim Umar. He's an attorney. And the reason why we'll be speaking to Muhammad Salim Umar, first of all, he's from Kenya. He's an attorney. And we want to find out what happens next after William Ruto, the deputy president of Kenya, since 2013, has been declared the winner of the just ended elections, the elections that took place on the 9th of August. What happens next? What is going to happen when these results are actually disputed in court? We saw quite a bit of drama on the night when the elections were being announced. We saw a bit of a fracas, a bit of a skirmish at the Electoral Commission's building or compilation center. And we also saw the deputy chairperson of the Electoral Commission, together with three other commissioners, saying that we cannot take ownership of those results. What does that mean? Does this mean that this is yet another tainted election in East Africa's giant or the biggest economy on the East African on the east of the African continent? So stay tuned for that. That's coming up, inshallah, at 10 to 8. And at about 8:30, we speak to Qari Ziad Patel. Qari Ziad Patel is a trustee at the Al-Imdad Foundation. And this is one discussion that I want you to also make a note of. 8:20, inshallah. We want to find out how ulama business training on the continent is going. So that's our Islamic finance segment. And Qari Ziad Patel is our guest on that discussion. So stay tuned for that, inshallah. Until 9 p.m., we'll be together right here on Salam Media. We welcome your comments on social media. That's all social media platforms, Facebook, Twitter, as well as, we encourage you to join the live stream on the streaming on salammedia.com. And we also have live streaming on Facebook as well as YouTube. So we certainly hope that you can get in touch with us. Whatever your comments are on any other or any interview on the show, that you certainly can send us a WhatsApp on 061 766 0355. That's 061 766 0355. This is Evening Talk with your host, Lukman Skink. We're taking a short break. We'll be back.
Something fresh. Listen to Salam Media.
There's no smell that takes me back to the comfort of my childhood than the smell of blackseed oil being applied by my nani. Now I'm using tib blackseed in my own home to soothe sniffles and coughs, to help with digestion and immunity, and of course, as part of my beauty routine. After all these years, I've come to appreciate the wisdom in finding comfort and shifa in trusted treatments like tib blackseed. You can find tib blackseed at all leading pharmacies or find out more at blackseed.co.za.
Whoever fasts Ashura, it is as if he has fasted the entire year. And whoever gives charity this day, it is like the charity of an entire year. Donate from only 500 Rand this month of Muharram to any of our campaigns and reap the rewards. Visit our website at www.pennyappeal.org.za to do a quick and easy donation, or visit the site for more information on our Thirst Relief, Orphan Kind, Hifts Orphan, Feed Our World and the Mosque Project. Penny Appeal. Small change, big difference.
You know, it's a wonder how kids get anything done these days. With all the distractions, when do they even get time to study? As a mother, all I can really do is make sure they have all they need to perform at their best. That's why I choose to include Sunfoil, triple refined pure sunflower oil with every meal I make. Naturally cholesterol-free and approved by the Heart and Stroke Foundation as part of a balanced eating plan. So whether I'm cooking, frying or baking, I know every dish will be a wholesome one. Sunfoil, now we're cooking.
Listen to something fresh. Listen to Salam Media, your humanitarian broadcaster.
Social expectation drowns us all inside. What you have should be what I want, 'cause what I have just ain't alright. The clothes I wear, the way I comb my hair, how I live, oh, I don't care. This is who I am, this is me. Nothing, everything, can't you see who?
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome back to the program now. Today, the 16th of August, South Africans remember one of the most painful events in the post-apartheid era. On this day in 2012, 34 striking mine workers were gunned down at a copy outside the Marikana platinum mine, where they were demanding better wages. Now, the mass killing of the mine workers shocked the world and changed labor relations in this country forever. In the 10 years since the event, a commission of inquiry has failed to bring to book a single person. Now, together with court action launched to find justice for the victims, state compensation for the victims remains a sticking point. Now, how much has been paid? How much is still outstanding? Joining me now is attorney for the mine workers, Andries Nkome. Good evening and welcome to Salam Media, Andries. Thank you so much for joining us.
Salam alaikum and thanks for having me.
Walaikum salam, Andries. Thank you so much. Andries, first of all, I mean, it's a really sad day in South African history. It's 10 years since what happened at the copy outside the Marikana mine. Many people died on the day. People died in the build up to the day. How are you and your clients marking the day of Marikana today?
I am, as I speak, just now from the copy. And people that have been allowed to speak at the commemoration have been saying that it's a very, very sad state, simply because they had expected government to act differently. They had expected lawmen to act differently. They had expected the president to act differently and try to approach them so that they can sit down and say, what really transpired in Marikana and how best we make sure that something similar does not happen again. And all of that has not happened. So it looks as if the courts will be the only way in which, one, our clients will be able to get apologies from the president, lawmen, as well as from the state, as well as some reconciliatory process out of which they're supposed to sit and say, let's make sure that something like this doesn't happen again.
Absolutely. And this, of course, we're talking about the biggest massacre in a free South Africa ever. And as I was saying in the introduction, it shocked us, it shocked the world, and 10 years later, here we are. Andries, one of the themes of today was people saying that today, the 16th of August, marks a decade of betrayal. Does this aptly describe the experience of both you and your clients?
Indeed, so yes. You'd also realize that, out of the Falama Commission that had been set up immediately after the commission, there hasn't been much more pointed recommendations about the actions of the mining company. There's no pointed recommendations about the actions of the police. Neither is there pointed recommendations essentially about who is supposed to be to blame for what really transpired. So it took us 10 years for us to get to the judgment that was delivered in the past week, in the past month, where the judge says the current president, Cyril Ramaphosa, is a mastermind of the toxic collusion between state and capital, and those is the cause of the massacre that caused the deaths, the injuries, as well as the arrests.
Andres, I do apologize for that. I'm not sure what happened. I see you still with us, Andres. Apologies for that. Yes, I was asking about how do you take that perception that it's been 10 years of pure deception.
Yes, no, I stated that I'm from the commemoration now, and it looks as if everybody that was given an opportunity to speak has stated that it's taken so long. And the only progress we seem to have made is progress that was made out of having forced parties to come through and participate before court processes. So therefore, it looks as if the only way in which they'll be able to get proper reparations, proper justice insofar as criminal litigation, it's only if they'll be able to force the people to come through and go through court processes.
Okay, now let's talk about those reparations. What do you make of Solicitor General Fezisani Pandelani's promise that all claims or outstanding relating to Marikana, all outstanding claims relating to the Marikana incident will be settled by this month? He went on a media briefing telling the nation that 50% or half of the claims have been settled, and he doesn't think that there would still be outstanding by the end of August. Is that a very tight timeline, according to you, Andries? What can you tell us that's probably much more closer to the reality?
It is simply not possible that by the end of August we'll have settled all the Marikana claims, simply because the dates that the court allocated us was from the 25th of July up until the 19th of August. And we know the 19th of August is day after tomorrow. It's the end of this week on Friday. We're
Right.
remaining with at least 20 matters that are supposed to be argued in front of the courts, where the courts are supposed to give judgments and say that the court must pay this particular amount. So it's simply not possible. And obviously, we'll have to then approach the court once more and have another preferential date or dates allocated to us so that we can be able to argue the matters to finality.
And this now, from the legal point of view, I mean, you did mention the fact that there are matters that are still in court outstanding, and the only way to force government and other parties to completely take responsibility for what happened 10 years ago is through litigation. Are you able to, in terms of what you're able to tell us, obviously, client your clients do have the right to, you can't just publicize everything, but from what you are able to tell us, what kind of litigation is still outstanding?
You would understand that immediately after the massacre, 279 people had been arrested. And we had to, after their charges were withdrawn, we had to institute civil litigation for unlawful arrest. We've been able to have those matters, most of them, settled by 2018. But over and above, we've got clients who have lost lots of earnings, who are still going to be expending medical expenses, and who will still be suffering pain and suffering as a result of what transpired in Marikana. So those are the claims that we're still looking at settling. But you'd also understand that we issued litigation against the state, which has accepted liability and is now settling. And we've issued litigation against Cyril Ramaphosa in his personal capacity, and he went and raised a technical reason why our claims are supposed to be dismissed. But unfortunately, the courts found against him and said that there is a case to answer. So we are proceeding on making sure that he goes and apologizes. He comes and participates in a process out of which there'll be a reconciliatory discussion between himself as well as our clients and loanmen. So all those litigation is still pending. Now we've even taken instructions from our clients saying that the findings of the Falam Commission is not assisting the community in Marikana. When you go there now, you'll find squalor. There's just no roads and there's just pigs everywhere. There's just no sanitation. And you'll get to realize that had those recommendations been more pointed, Marikana would have turned out to be a better place than it is now.
The Farlam Commission also exonerated, the Lonmin mine from any sort of responsibility. So the Farlam Commission didn't really move the needle as such. And I know that, because you didn't get any joy from the Farlam Commission, your litigation has been a lot more aggressive on behalf of your clients. Andries, let's talk a little bit more about President Cyril Ramaphosa. At the time, he was a shareholder at Lonmin Mine, and that email that was sent for action to be taken against striking workers. He definitely does, from the outset, from the outlook of things, have a case to answer. But why has he either avoided it, or secondly, why has he not even gone there physically as president of the state? I mean, some people say he's not even welcome there.
Look, I don't think he's not welcome there, but I think it's more of an issue of him being more honest, him being much more acting in good faith in trying to speak and give an apology to the people that we represent. So I will not be able to speculate about why has he not gone. All I can say is that our clients are seeing this behavior and saying it doesn't look as if he will come at any time soon, and therefore the only way in which you are supposed to get an apology out of him would be that you press on with litigation, you get him to court and get the court to order him to apologize as we expect.
If Ramaphosa apologizes, or should I say when Ramaphosa apologizes, would this be an admission of guilt? Does this then expose him to legal implications?
Look, all that we do is just to give advices to clients, and they give us instructions. So as at now, what they are expecting and looking forward to is just an apology, and they'll say immediately thereafter they'll be able to give us instructions as to what to do next.
Andries, you've been the lawyer for these mine workers for close to a decade, if not more, and you've been with the case from day one. My question to you is regarding those people that have been given some sort of compensation or reparation. How much have they been able to get from the state? And is this something that is preventing the other 50% from getting the settlement in terms of the agreement coming around the table and saying, okay, fine, this is how much we agree should be paid out?
The amount of compensation that's supposed to be paid to an individual claimant varies from person to person. It varies on the basis of the extent of injuries that the person has had to suffer. Like, for example, somebody that has had a fracture of the femur, possibly would have expended more money to try and get that femur corrected than somebody that has fractured a finger. So therefore, they vary from person to person, and I'll not be able to say ballpark, this is the figure that a person is entitled to.
Fantastic. Now, the stumbling blocks to the settlement of the other 50% or other cases, what are they, Andries? And I know you said it's not likely that we are going to have them settled by the end of the month, but is it the stumbling block from the state side, or where is the stumbling block?
Look, essentially, the Solicitor General has stated that the state was going to make offers on the basis of which we are supposed to accept and then have the matters closed. Essentially, have those settlement agreements made orders of court. But the state, in other instances, is not coming through forthrightly and stating that the amount that we offer you for pain and suffering is this, and therefore, please accept it. Some of the amounts that have been offered are very paltry, and there's no way in which we're going to advise our clients to undersettle their claims. The best thing that we can do is to make sure that the state comes up with a fair offer for pain and suffering, and our clients will accept those, and we have the matters finalized.
Here's my final question. Let me ask you this final question, Andries. Now, the company Lonmin is no longer in Marikana. We have a new company, Sibanye Stillwater. How much of engagement has this company had with the community, had with the people that are working in the mine? And is it better than the Lonmin that was there before? And if not, where can they improve?
The understanding is that when Sibanye took over from Lonmin, it took over all the obligations and rights of Lonmin. So therefore, it stood to be in the shoes that Lonmin occupied prior to the massacre. At least at the time that Sibanye took over, the workers had been receiving some kind of assistance insofar as transport from the company to come through to court. Now Sibanye is not even doing that. In actual fact, we've got greater difficulties with getting clients to court simply because Sibanye says if you attend a court, even if your lawyers can give proof that you were attending a court, we are still going to draw from your salary the day's earnings that you're supposed to earn. So Sibanye is even worse than Lonmin was.
Goodness, Andries, this is. It sounds like it's a battle that you have to continue fighting on behalf of your clients and for your clients as well. It's definitely one of those stories that every single South African has got a emotional. We are emotionally, invested in, and we want to see you succeed. And what happened, 10 years ago should never have happened. It is a scar. It is a scar on our history, particularly the post-democratic era. And we wish you well in your efforts, and we certainly hope that 10 years from now we'll be talking the same thing. I mean, it has dragged on. Justice for the victims, justice for the family victims has dragged on 10 years, and it really is a long time. But we really want to commend you for your work and your tenacity. Thank you so much.
Much appreciated, sir. Thanks a lot.
You're welcome. Andries Nkome there, attorney for the Marikana miners, talking to us there about today. It's been 10 years. Can you believe it? 10 years have passed, and still no justice for quite a number of the people that were affected, the families, the survivors. And we certainly hope that there's going to be some sort of justice, and there's going to be some sort of reparations that are complete and making people whole. Of course, a very, very contentious point. And if you want to comment, you certainly can. 061 766 0355. I'm grateful to Andries for his time. Bringing us now to 28 minutes after 7. Mr. Neo Shabirwa, we see you. Thank you very much for your comment. You've just sent us an emoji there to say that you're listening in. We appreciate you. We see you. And we hope that you stay with us. We're going to take a short break. Stay tuned.